saying
the lineman I've been telling you about, open up the lane for Craig Reynolds.
From the 49-yard line, this is Craig Reynolds, first down and 4.
Oh, boys. Oh, baby. It's a good show today. Welcome back to the Honolulu Blues. As always, hosted by the trio with the most. I'm Nick. That's Julius. And there's Adam down there. But don't mind us. Let's focus our attention on our special guest today. I can't even believe he's on the show with us. I'm going to just fumble through all my words to start this show. We got Taylor Decker. We got left tackle of the Detroit Lions, Taylor Decker here. Thank you so much for coming on, Taylor. We appreciate it.
For sure. Appreciate the invite.
Oh, dude, you're invited anytime. You can come back anytime.
Oh, no, I was just randomly, like every now and then I'll just randomly go through all my DMs and I was just like, nah, fuck it. Why not? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's the response we like to hear. Fuck it. Yeah. Why not?
Love it.
Yeah, dude. No, we appreciate it. Just got to catch lightning in a bottle, I guess. We're happy that you're here. We have a ton of questions. And like I said, we're not going to try to keep you too long. So we're just going to jump right into everything. And I want to start off with a pretty fun question. Yeah, we got some good questions, football related questions and stuff like that. Sure. That'll come. But
easy. Those are the easy ones.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let's get to the hard questions, the hard pressing questions. This is a show by the fans for the fans. And what the fans want to know is back in 2019, Taylor, you were at a game with Joe Dahl and Graham Glasgow, a Detroit Tigers game per se. And there was, you guys were spotted on the Jumbotron and we all grabbed a beer and chugged a beer. Graham Glasgow was quick to, point out that he was last to start, first to finish. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not the question. The question here, so we just start with that. That leads us to now, the new offensive line that we have. A bunch of good guys in the trenches, some young guys, some veterans.
Yep.
If we had a bracket of all the Detroit Lions offensive linemen in a beer chug-off, who is winning this bracket? I got to know. The fans got to know.
I'm going to tell you who's not going to win is going to be Frank. Frank's absolutely not even he's out in the first round. I think the clear, everybody would tell you, easy winner is going to be Big V. No doubt. Big V's got it. He's able to slam a beer 100%. We'll go out to O-line dinners and stuff like that. And he'll get the big ass Miller High Life champagne bottle, bro, and he just can crush those things. It's hilarious. It's like champagne of beers, and I'm like, bro, we're at Prime. You probably heard of Prime and Proper. We're at Prime and Proper downtown, and he's just like, you guys got Miller High Life and the champagne bottles. It's
champagne of beers.
Yeah, awesome. I had actually never seen it in a champagne bottle. I've heard about it until Big V got one. So
they poured it in a champagne. He got it in a champagne bottle, of Miller High Life.
Yeah, they got the big bottles. They're champagne bottles, and they pour it in a champagne glass or a wine glass for you at the restaurant. It's hilarious.
I'm a High Life guy. That's what I've always been. $6.99 out the door for a 12-pack of High Life. I'm well versed in High Life. I don't think I've ever heard of that either. So that is awesome. I love it.
We have to pick one up. I don't even know. I don't know where to get them. I have no idea where to get them. My brother's talked about it too. He's a blue collar guy, so he likes his cheap beers. So he likes whenever he comes by my house, he likes leaving one Busch Light hidden somewhere in the fridge. So he hides one. It's hilarious. He'll get limited edition hunting bottles or cans this year, and he'll hide one. It's funny.
Honey, who left the Natty Daddy in here? What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, we know 100% it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen because he's done it enough to where last time he was at my house, he said, I'm not leaving one. I'm not doing it. And then my mom came back and knocked on the door 2 minutes after they left. And she was like, oh, I forgot my purse. Well, I guess he sent her back in to put a Busch Light in the fridge. Because then I went in the fridge later and I was like, well, this wasn't here. So
wow, that is excellent. Well, Taylor, we're going to flip it on over to the football field, talk about one of your biggest memories, and that was your first touchdown catch. And now, don't have a question about the touchdown catch itself, but about what you did with the ball right after you caught it and what your kind of oh shit moment was after you realized you threw your first touchdown catch into the crowd?
Well, I did. I that was premeditated. I knew that I was going to throw the ball in the stands. I already that was going to be fine. And I was like, I'll just go on Twitter. I'll hook up a fan for, being nice enough if they're willing to give it back. But what I didn't anticipate was the amount of people that were going to act like they had the football and I'm so-and-so, I got your football. I was at the game. I mean, I probably had 50 people that were they just wanted they're like free jersey, some tickets. I don't know. But the guy who actually ended up having it, I don't even think he had a Twitter. Somebody he knew saw the tweet about it. So he made one specifically just to reach out because he just was open to giving the ball back to me. He was actually great about it. He said I could just have it if I wanted to. But obviously took care of him because, I mean, of course you would want to keep a football that got thrown into the stands and got it back. So got it back, hooked that guy up. And every now and then he still shoots me a DM here and there on Twitter. So I think he hurt his shoulder catching the ball though. I do think he.
Hey man, I would hurt my shoulder.
I was going to say that's a price I'll pay.
Yeah.
I'd lay out for that puppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey Taylor, I'm gonna push the next question back to the football field this past season. And when I think of you, and I'm sure when a lot of Lions fans think about you, there's one moment that came to mind, and it was after the loss to the Bills on Thanksgiving, and you kind of gave some words to reporters in the locker room. And I'm gonna play it real quick for our fans, just so they're aware of what I'm talking about.
This isn't the same old Lions anymore. We're going to go out there and we're going to get our respect, and we're going to earn that respect.
So that was the quote, and that was really a big moment for the Lions and Lions fans, that I would say. And I just want to ask you, what was your thoughts? Was it just spur of the moment? That's how you were feeling? Because it was really the first time that a player, kind of fought back against that SOL notion. And
acknowledged it,
exactly.
The first time they acknowledged it,
and boom, we go 5 and we follow the season, go 5-1. It gave us kind of a spurt, what I'm saying, and I know a lot of Lions fans appreciate it. So I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
I think it was, from my perspective, even though record-wise, wins, losses, we didn't start the season well, we were trending in the right direction. And that's easy to say in hindsight because we finished the season so well. But there's just kind of a feeling when you're out there on the field, if you're playing to win or not. And I had that feeling all year, we were playing to win these games, and we weren't going to back down from any individual player, any offensive or defensive scheme. And it probably sounded like a broken record because I remember even after the first Minnesota game when we lost, which came down to the wire, we could have shut that game out, but we didn't. I remember telling the media at that point where it's man, we are right there. We were really, really close. We got some really good pieces, but at the end of the day, we're young and we need to learn how to kind of get over that hump to be able to finish out the games, because we were putting ourselves in a position late in the fourth quarter to be able to win games, but we weren't finishing out with a 2-minute drive to win the game, a 2-minute stop, 4-minute to close to just run the clock out. We weren't doing those things.
Right.
And there was belief within the locker room. And looking back at it, I feel like those comments just kind of let that kind of spill out into the Lions fans. And it was just something that I was very excited to play Buffalo. We felt like we were going to win that game. Obviously we didn't. But I was we went toe-to-toe. And ultimately we lost. But that doesn't take away from the fact that we are still trending in the right direction. And it was good growth for us, man. It was really good. And I was just excited about the potential. There's a really good culture and a camaraderie within that locker room. And guys just believed in each other. And that belief is really powerful. You can be less talented, but if you believe and you love your guys,
right,
it can go a long way. So Yeah, I mean, you hear it from the media all the time. Same old Lions. We kind of get shit on a lot. Almost my whole career by the media, and I guess I was just kind of tired of it. This was probably the most I've spoken with the media and the most open I've been with the media ever in my career this past season, and I don't know, people seem to like it. So,
Well, it was awesome, man. I'm telling you right now, it's a legendary Lions moment. It really is, especially for fans.
yeah,
I agree 100%. And I'm gonna go from some fun, goofy questions to some hard-hitting journalism questions. We had some pretty significant news break today for the Detroit Lions, and we talked about the camaraderie that was built in the locker room, and a lot of that stems from our coaching staff. And we have one of the best, if not in my opinion, our opinion, I speak for all of us, the best coaching staffs in all of football.
Yeah.
But a big reason was that, and we saw it through Hard Knocks, and from what at least we can see from the outside, we're not inside and seeing the perspective that you have. We lost Deuce Staley. For anyone not knowing, Deuce Staley has signed with the Carolina Panthers, unfortunately leaving the Detroit Lions. How impactful is that? And do you have any thoughts just on the whole business side of it?
First and foremost, I will say Deuce called me this morning. We probably talked for 10, 15 minutes about it. I believe he called every single person, at least on the offense.
Wow, that's awesome.
I believe he called all of them. Before he called me, he said he had spoken to all the running backs. He was trying to reach every single guy individually. And I know there's been a little bit of details out to the media that it's for personal reasons mostly. It's not because he doesn't want to be a part of our organization. It's not because he doesn't love us, but he needs to do what's best for his family. And I respect him as a man for that, because he's a guy's guy and a man's man, and he's got to handle his business. And you can't say a bad thing about that. Especially given the fact that he joined the Lions organization when we were coming off some really tough times. And I remember one of his first meetings with the team, he kind of took pride in like wanting to come here and build something special. And man, he was just like a leader of men. Like he's a great guy. Can command a room really well. From his like playing pedigree, like, you command respect. Like you did it. So yeah, we're gonna miss him, man. I mean, he was a great motivator. I think he was great for our young backs. I mean, he would tell Swift all the time that he believed he could be the best back in the league, and for your coach to instill that belief in you was super powerful. Him and Jamal had a really, really special relationship. I mean, you'd see those guys, laughing, crying, everything together. And I mean, Jamal had the best year of his career, set all sorts of great records and stuff like that. I mean, he's just an awesome guy. And like I said, I know it was, a lot for personal reasons, and I respect him for that. And like I told him, I was like, man, you're being a man and you're doing what you have to do. And it's a hard decision, but I'm sure I know for a fact, Dan was like, absolutely, you do what you got to do. And I know all of us will miss him and wish him the best.
Sure.
Yeah, and I will say, this isn't going to be the last time that Deuce Staley appears in Ford Field, because the Panthers are set to play the Lions this upcoming season. So will be a very cool homecoming for him.
100%. And then like there's going to be a bunch of hugs and stuff like that, and we will be happy to see him. And just excited for him to have an opportunity, a unique opportunity to be able to go home and handle what he needs to handle. But I know he like bleeds football. He needs to be around football. So he's going to be able to have the opportunity to still be around football, but also like handle his business is probably like the head of their household. So, I mean, just happy for him, man.
Absolutely. And, to take things to a little bit lighter side, not so much football, but I got a question for you. Are you an Avengers fan? Because we obviously saw or know that you did see the video made by Jordan Gill that depicted you as Captain America, bringing in all the Avengers troops, all the Lions troops in for the battle against Green Bay. So were you a big Avengers fan before this, or was this just some sort of cool video that you really enjoyed?
I had multiple people DM it to me or send me links to, I think it was on Reddit, and they were like, you have got to watch this. And this was right around the time where I was just getting like a ton of like DMs from Lions fans, like, we love you guys, all that. And I told him, like, I may not respond to everybody, but I'm going to read every single one. And I was just going through reading DMs, like, because like there was just a bunch of excitement around the Lions, and I saw the video, and like I love stuff like that. That shit's hilarious. And why not retweet it, repost it? I mean, people loved it. It was just fun, man. I mean, ultimately our games, like, it's fun. Like, we play football when we're in third grade because it's fun and we enjoy it. And like, it was just fun, man. And it's just speaks to the excitement of the fan base and speaks to, I guess, a little bit of their creativity. So they're spending too much time on Reddit, maybe. I don't know.
All right, Taylor. Quick question. Being the only player that is has endured the entire Patricia era pretty much, and you're still part of the team. You've been with the team since 2016, longest tenured Lion by a mile. Can you tell me, what do you think is the biggest difference between the past regime's era and Dan Campbell now with you guys? What's the biggest difference in team philosophy that's allowed you guys to flourish?
I mean, I think from a personnel standpoint, you see that like a lot of people that were here as players are not here.
Great point.
There was just kind of like an aura, like a stench of like losing that we needed to get rid of. And when you're not playing winning football, people get fired. Coaches get fired, players get fired, front office people get fired, and that's just the nature of the business, whether it's right or wrong. That's just what's going to happen because we're a results-based business. Like, it's all about winning. But I do remember when Dan got hired, I wanted to talk to him because I assumed that a lot of sweeping changes were going to happen. But I was like, I want to keep Hank. I at least want to talk to Dan and see if he'll just, hey, I'll vouch for him. I know you're probably going to interview him anyway, but could you please interview him? And Dan was really eager to have our input as players and made it really kind of like community family based. Like, we're all doing this together. It's not kind of like a boss, like subordinate relationship, especially I think because he played for a long time, and you see that he built his staff that way for guys that had been in the trenches and been through it. So yeah, I think there was a lot of changes, but I think they were smart to hold over the people that maybe had some value. And I think you've seen that. I think Hank has been invaluable to Frank's development because Hank played center, and we ask a lot of our centers for Panay, just for the room to gel together. Jonah is a young player. So I think they did a good job of that. I think they did a good job of assessing what are some pieces that we can hold over, because like I said, a lot of sweeping changes are usually made, but there might be good pieces here, and there's been good pieces here. And a lot of people who were on the team in the past are gone, but I think they kept some really good pieces that we were able to build through moving forward, and kind of some people who know how it's been around here. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting for the future. I mean, it was a rough first year with Dan, but man, he never stopped believing, and hopefully we're kind of trending in the right direction. Springboarding off that last game was huge for us for the future, man, because we're a super young team, but talented.
Definitely.
Very much so.
It's a good thing that they saw that, Frank and Jonah and yourself, along with Hank, that was a good thing to keep. Obviously, as you guys have been the anchor and pushing our team towards. So it's a great thing that happened.
Yeah. And it kind of just hit my third question, which was, how impactful is Hank Fraley? So I got to meet Hank down in Mobile last year for the Senior Bowl while the Lions coaching staff was down there. I got to talk with like Calvin Shepard, and Brunel was out for a little bit, and Deuce, and
Yep.
And then Hank Fraley came, and most of the coaches was just a quick conversation. Hey, I'm a Lions fan, just keep up the great work kind of thing. Hank came over, bought us some beers, sat down, and just started talking X's and O's for like 15, 20 minutes, to a point where I was almost like, Hank, I got to go to the bathroom. I don't want to leave the conversation, dude. Like, this is awesome. This is exactly what I love. And then we see in Hard Knocks, and he's got his son running around. He just seems outstanding and an amazing coach. And I know you did just touch on him a little bit, but can you explain a little bit more to maybe like us and to all the fans, just how impactful and how important he has been for your career and for the entire offensive line that just helped pave the way for Jamal Williams getting 17 touchdowns? How impactful is it from Hank Fraley?
Well, first, that definitely sounds like Hank. That sounds about right. Your experience with him. Man, he's just – I don't think our team would be the same without him coaching our offensive line. Offensive line is a very unique position. There's a lot of cerebral thought process that goes into it. There's a lot of mindset that's super important to it. And given that he played for, I believe, 11 years, he played and he had to go to multiple different teams. He had some success and he had some hard times. Again, with like a lot of our staff, he's been through it. So he can he can level with us on a human level. Like, man, I know what that feels like. That shit sucks. And it's just like a family atmosphere within that room. Like our room in Detroit is incredible. Like I can't imagine that like going anywhere else and it being any better. Like our room is perfect. The personalities, kind of the rapport back and forth between people. I mean, Hank just does a really, really good job of, I guess, like nurturing that atmosphere. Incredibly smart. Like there's a lot of X's and O's to offensive line play that I think, not to take away from, the fan, but the average fans just don't understand. And he can take the complicated and put it in chunks that are manageable for people who maybe don't have the highest level of football understanding. Maybe it's a young player who still needs to learn about coverages and safety rotations and things like that. And he'll make it manageable for them. And I think more than anything, while he's fantastic at the X's and O's, he's fantastic at run game coordinating, he almost coaches confidence. And I don't think every coach does that. There's so much that goes into offensive line play from a mental aspect to go out there and play confident. And when you're going out there and you know that he believes in you and you know that he thinks that you're the best in the NFL and that he's prepared you, that's huge, man. Because as an offensive lineman, like me as a tackle and Panay, like we're playing against werewolves every Sunday. Like you got to go out there and you got to be confident. You got to feel like you're the man. And Hank he's coached that. He's made it a point to let you know that he believes in you. And to let you know that I'm not going to put you in a position that you can't handle. I'm not going to ask anything of you that you can't do. While it may be challenging, that's what you're here for. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Like he has made me just a much more confident player. And that's just huge as offensive line where, if you're an offensive lineman, you can pass block for 70 snaps perfect. And you go up 1 sack and everybody's like, oh, this guy fucking sucks. He just does such a good job with the confidence and the next play mindset and just kind of like we're going out there as a group to have some swagger. I mean, the guy writes, like he gives us a tip sheet the night before every game and he writes every single person like a little note, like individual note on like basically like I believe in you. Like let's go out there and do it again. And like, man, I can't say enough good things about him. And I've been with him for a long time because he was the assistant under Jeff Davidson when he was the O-line coach. So yeah, man, I'm lucky to be able to have one coach for as long as I've had him, and especially the caliber of coach that he is and the caliber of person.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Adam? Oh, Adam muted over there. Look at that. A solid good mute moment for everyone. Hey, well done.
Big classic. Anyways, so Taylor, I got one more question about all your touchdown passes because there has been, or catches, because there has been more than one. There's been two. But did you know that if you catch one more touchdown pass, then you will have the record for most touchdown receptions for an active offensive lineman, taking that over Deion Dawkins of the Buffalo Bills?
I do know that.
Very
We
cool,
did
man.
have a touchdown play for me against, I believe, the Bears.
Oh, that would be
What?
Jamal was really close to getting the record. So I told Ben, you could just hand it off to Jamal, get him the record, get him the touchdown. If we're down there again, get Jamal the record. I mean, it's just a fun flash play for me, but like that record for him was more important to me that he got that than I get another touchdown, because I mean, ultimately, like, it'd be cool to have that active record, but
And
ultimately I get paid.
Four is the NFL like history book record. So if you want to go for like two, maybe three more, man.
Yeah, I don't know who has it. I think it's always like
Some old timers.
Probably like Anthony Munoz or something like that.
We're gonna have to call up Ben Johnson and make sure we're scripting those into the game plan this upcoming
Most
season.
Oh, the fans would have gone crazy throwing to linemen twice in a season, two different throw to both of your tackles. They would have loved it.
Amen.
It's definitely possible down the line that we see multiple from you and Panay. Y'all are both athletic enough to get the job done. But I know we don't got you much longer, but I got to ask you a question. I asked your teammate Jason Kabinda not too long ago. You're described as a true pro on the team. You know, you're a leader. You're one of our main guys, our pillars. Coming from this 9-8 season, everything that was accomplished on the way to just barely missing the playoffs, what would you say the Lions' ceiling is going into next season? Like your ceiling that you're looking towards, where you feel you guys can accomplish?
These sorts of questions are delicate.
Yeah.
I mean, I think obviously our ceiling wins-wise should be better than it was last season. I'll say that. And I think you can kind of pull from that, like what the expectations should be for, end of the season. I mean, I just want to be playing like last year, meaningful games in December and hopefully into January. Not that this is my prediction, but this is like something that I've just wanted, that I'm hoping for at some point in the future. I want to win a home playoff game in Detroit. Awesome. I mean, the city will be like, people will burn the city down.
I don't know if I would survive it, Daylor.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I want that, because seeing the excitement build like in Ford Field every single week, especially when we started going on that win streak, and it's like it felt like every single week they're like, oh, new attendance record, 15,000 people are just standing. To be able to have a home playoff game at some point, like I just really hope that I get to be a part of that, a home playoff win, because I mean, I've said it before, like I feel like our fan base has been very loyal, and I think that would be really, really cool for them. I mean, it's gonna be super cool for me as a player if that happens one day. But I guess that's just that is a goal of mine selfishly, to hopefully before I hang it up get one of those. And but I do think how we ended last season will hopefully be a springboard, and hopefully we can start the season faster, and hopefully like the level of performances that we saw the last half of the season, that should be like the bare minimum standard for week in and week out. Who knows if we win or lose? There's a lot of good teams, but just as far as a competition level and being out there to go out there and compete with all the best teams, like that should be the standard.
I love that. Great answer, Taylor Decker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. We kept you a little bit longer than I said we would, so I appreciate you hanging around with us a little bit longer. We're going to stay on. We're just going to recap the show a little bit, but we just want to say thank you one last time for coming on. A player for the fans, the left tackle, the pillar of the Detroit Lions. our friend Taylor Decker. Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
Well, howdy.
Whew. Taylor Decker, baby. How awesome was that? We got not just some like fun, like true Taylor Decker. We got some like actual hard-hitting question. We got his first response about the Deuce Staley. You know, that's the first thing that stuck out to me is let's talk about that. Deuce Staley reached out to all the running backs, the linemen, likely, you know, pretty much I would assume.
I think he said at least every offensive player.
That's which is just, it shows you what kind of guy Deuce Staley is. And Taylor, he beat around the bush, but basically, yes, Deuce Staley wasn't taking this out of money. It was to be closer with family and, you know, to deal with his family issues and just, you know, take care of that, which absolutely, you know, respect that. And we're going to be rooting for him, and it's going to be awesome to see him coming back to Ford Field. So, you know, Nick, give me some thoughts on this, man.
This was just the best thing ever. I don't know. I'm still smitten over here. I don't know. That was just awesome. He's just a great guy. Great answers. Didn't mind talking about chugging beer. Didn't mind talking about Deuce Staley. Gave us a very good answer. Now, Kabinda for the ceiling. Kabinda gave us the Super Bowl. That's what we love.
That's the fan answer. But
Decker gave us the
legit.
We're hoping for a playoff win at home.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
That's what we're looking forward to. You know, Taylor. I wanted to be like, yes, Taylor. I'm right there with you. Can we just get that? So that it would just I'm gonna rewatch this show 112 times tonight. So I love it.
Definitely, yeah. And shout out to everyone, you know, tuning in as well. This is, I think, one of our biggest audiences. Hopefully, we can get, you know, big guys, big names like Taylor Decker. Maybe we'll get some former Lions, some, you know, maybe Lions media. But yeah, this is just, you know, the start of the Honolulu Blues train rolling. So, Julius, what was the Deuce Staley comments that stuck out to you the most, or was there something else that, you know, you got on your mind?
I mean, I would say the home playoff win at the end when he took his time, you know, because like you said,
he gave a Dan Campbell pause.
Right. We gave exactly. It was like the Dan Campbell pause. Like we, you know, and Jason
was like the Dan Campbell pause. Exactly.
Yeah. Jason Kabinda the other day, you know, he was boom, Super Bowl, you know, and that was awesome in its own way as well. But this was also awesome that it was measured and kind of came from within where do I truly feel this team standard is? And that's what he explained to us. Like last 8 games of the season, that's how we want to start off next season at that level. And that should take us to a home playoff game, a home playoff win. And that would be, you know, that would be everything, you know. So it was a great interview. You know, Taylor is a great guy. I'm happy that he's a Lion, and I'm happy he decided to come on the show.
Yeah, definitely. One of our, you know, best interviews. You know, we've only had a few, but definitely our best.
We've had a few. I wouldn't, you know, we've had what 6, 7 interviews. You know what I mean?
We
coming. Yeah, these are our first 2 current lines.
So for our next guest, you're following up Taylor Decker. So
hey, shout out to all our.
I'll take anyone on the Lions.
I know. Yeah, honestly, hey, any Lions player, come on.
Everybody that listens every week. Like, and comes on every week, and you know, have been with us all the way up till, you know, to Taylor Decker now, you know, coming on the show and doing an interview. It was an awesome interview. Shout out to all the listeners, all the fans. We love you guys.
Yes. It's the train's only starting. You know what I mean? The ball's only rolling from here. So hell yeah, that was a great show, guys. That was a great show. Man, we got Taylor Decker's first. We got the first interview with Taylor Decker.
Yeah,
about Deuce Staley. Not that was our goal in any way, but just that was awesome to hear what he had to say about him. It was awesome to hear what he had to say about Hank Fraley, like
Hank Fraley and Deuce Staley.
That was really cool.
And you know what was the theme? Both times he talked about both those coaches, he said they motivate you. Same thing he said with Deuce Staley. He motivates you. And Jamal Williams said it also on GMFB. He motivates you. And then Hank Fraley says he teaches confidence, which is you can teach X's and O's, and you can teach, you know, this and that and how to do it. You cannot, it's hard to teach confidence. You just, that's something that's inside people. And that's something normally what kind of makes or breaks someone. Your clutch moment. How confident are you that you're just going to stay the course and do the basics and play your game? And that's what he's being taught. And that's what Hank Fraley teaches. Just an amazing theme to our coaches. Cause we all know that's what Dan Campbell does too. He teaches confidence. He inspires and motivates. You know what I mean? Like, that is what we have. Losing Deuce is tough, but we have a lot of good coaches, I believe.
And I will say, he might not be the only coach that we lose, because defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn is taking a second interview with the Colts. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm not sure if, I feel like the Lions to Colts, defensive coordinator position is pretty much of a lateral movement. Maybe you get some more money or something, but for me, I find it like hard to believe that he would actually leave. But maybe, he already knows he's staying, and it's like, why not, let the public know I'm getting a second interview instead of declining it. So perhaps it's some of that. But Julius, is there actually some legit concern from you that we might lose Aaron Glenn?
It's a little bit of concern, but you know what? I'm at a point where I got pretty good trust in Dan Campbell being able to, just fire if we lose a coach or two, promote, see if they want to promote from within with running backs, or if they want to, look elsewhere. But I feel like he put together a pretty good staff, and he has the ability to add to the staff when we lose guys like that. Losing Aaron Glenn would probably be pretty tough just because of what he means to the overall defense and all the young guys we got. But hopefully it'll be some kind of plan to take over somebody competent to take over the defense and continue its progression.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting because I'm kind of looking at all this like coaching news. We just lost Deuce. Obviously, Ben Johnson announced he's staying, and now Aaron Glenn's kind of on the fence. So, Nick, this brings me to you. If we had to have a situation of like, obviously, there's no really turning back on this, so we're already getting one side of it. It's the Ben Johnson returning, but would you sacrifice Ben Johnson to get back Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn? Like, how important do you think these three coaches are?
They're all really important. It's hard to like kind of rank them. It's really hard to rank them. I would probably honestly keep Deuce and Aaron Glenn, because I think Deuce has a very he can run an offense. He's probably going to be the offensive coordinator for Carolina. He could be our offensive coordinator. I think Ben Johnson's an amazing offensive coordinator. I don't know who's a better offensive coordinator. I don't really know where all the plays are coming from and all this stuff. I just know that Deuce Staley is an amazing motivator, and Aaron Glenn, that's what our defense like rallied around, and losing Aaron Glenn could lose our entire scheme. And then we have to relearn a defensive scheme rather than just offense kind of being plugged and played, and just make sure we have a couple of creative plays here and there. Ben Johnson's amazing. I'm not trying to undersell him, but I would rather keep the other two. But again, like you said at the beginning, after Decker left, we are definitely just going to be rooting for Deuce in Carolina. We absolutely love him. And I hope that Aaron Glenn stays here. But if he goes to Indy, I will be rooting for him as a head coach. And I hope he has the utmost success in Indianapolis and dominates over Kansas City and Cincinnati and Buffalo and the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, all for the rest of his life. And we do good in the NFC. You know what I mean? That's right.
Exactly. Make it picture perfect. Julius, what do you think of these three coaches? Would you have rather, kept Deuce in why am I drawing a blank? Deuce and
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn. I don't know why I just forgot that, but yes, Deuce and Aaron Glenn over Ben Johnson.
Not necessarily. I can't really value coaches like that for like 2 for 1, because Ben Johnson is pretty important to the Detroit Lions. I mean, losing him would have been way scarier than losing Aaron Glenn or Deuce Staley on their own. Is it scarier than losing both of them? I don't think so. I think I'd rather keep Ben Johnson. Quick answer to that question.
I think so too. I mean, I get what you're saying, Nick. Both, you go either way, honestly, but I feel like I just lean a tad bit Ben Johnson, just because I feel like there might be some more upside to this guy. Like, honestly, this could be just like a little taste. We could have just had a little taste of Ben Johnson last year, and then boom, we see the full like hippity-doo-dah, flippy passes, trickery, all this Andy Reid type stuff. And, he's like getting legit offers and then obviously leave or something like that. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, Julius. I'd probably rather have Ben Johnson. But if we do lose Aaron Glenn, we will likely get, well, not likely, we will get some compensatory picks from the NFL. Don't know exactly how it will break down, but we will get, some draft capital back for him. So it won't be the worst thing in the world. And,
I'd rather have that coach, but you're right. There's a little silver lining, but
at least
that coach.
There's a little,
Give me a compensatory ticket for Deuce Staley going to be an offense coordinator somewhere. I want at least one third round for that.
Shucks, but it's only for head coaches and GMs. In case you were wondering why there wasn't any talk about the Lions getting picks for Deuce Staley.
Yep.
Nick,
rock and roll.
You got any other comments about Taylor Decker or just any of this Lions coaching news?
I have an update. Taylor Decker did message me back and said, "You guys run a good show." Look at that, friend of the show, Taylor Decker likes the way we run our show. I've been telling you, stay the course, boys. Stay the course.
That is great.
For 3 years.
Be like, hey, feel free to tell your friends.
Yeah, right. Should have I asked him to see if he could call Jared Goff? Be like, yo, what's the odds if you FaceTime Jared Goff right now? He answers, no, I'm joking. I wouldn't have done
so
that.
Cool. Honestly, he's like, you want me right now? Okay.
That would have been
Jared Goff. That would be so cool. Oh my goodness. Maybe one day though. Maybe one day.
Anyways, go Lions.
Go Lions.
Julius, any last comments on Decker and anything he said? Because there was quite a bit.
The SOL, the way he went into his thoughts on the SOL comment, not the same fucking Lions.
I thought he was about to tear up a little bit about
those were words heard around the world, my friends, when he said them. And it was just great to know that he meant it and it meant something, and that it was finally a player. I wanted him to know that if Lions fans appreciated a player stepping up like that and saying, no, this is not SOL. We are not losers no more. We got a talented team, and we fight every day for our coach. And he explained it beautifully. I mean, he was just a great guest.
We got some dogs.
Barking.
They just lost their minds.
Were those your dogs, Julius?
They're agreeing with me in the background. Yeah,
they were agreeing with you. Yeah,
they're like,
damn right.
Taylor, tell it like it is, bro.
They're like, Taylor Decker got that dog in him.
Oh, that dog. Go Lions.
That's my dog. Oh, my God. All right. That was hilarious.
So, real quick before we hang it up, Nick, I think you tweeted this out. Who do you think deserves the best chance to become the Lions' new running back head coach in place of Deuce Staley? And one of the top comments is, everyone needs to stop saying Barry Sanders. Because yes, I agree. That's a complete ludicrous comment. Barry Sanders. I don't know. I feel like he's just it's totally two different personalities to go from Deuce to Barry Sanders.
Not a coach. No, Barry Sanders isn't coached a single down.
Horrible idea.
I did see Kevin Smith's name has been floated around. He was, I think, like some sort of coach in the AFL or something, or has been kind of making his name. Some other comments in here, a lot of former Lions like Joyke Bell, Mikel Lashore, Reggie Bush. People are just saying, "I'll carry on Johnson, Frank Gore." These are great. Adrian Peterson. Any of these names stick out to you guys?
No.
I want Deuce Staley to pick the replacement.
Ooh, that's
That
I want Deuce to recommend a guy to Dan, and Dan be like, "All right, Deuce." And that kind of gives a continuity into his, into the Deuce spirit,
Here's a legit one. Jamal Williams, first ever coach player.
I said Jamal Williams needed to be our coach and on our coaching staff in a tweet like a month ago. Did I not say, I don't care what we need to re-sign him for. We re-sign him for everything. He finished his career here and he starts coaching here. I'm down for him to be a coach player. Also, Wayne State University just hired Tyrone Wheatley as their head coach. I wouldn't mind him as a running backs coach. That would be awesome. Realistically, we just got to look at like what teams really ran the ball well this year, and what I mean, get their running game coordinator. I will say I don't want Arian Foster. I'll say that.
No.
No, you don't want.
Do you know why, Adam? Did you see
why? Or no scripts.
No script guy. Yeah, no, I don't need that.
That was hilarious. Did you guys see any of those comments of? It was from everyone, like from Dan Orlovsky to people talking about Tom Brady, talking about whoever did see, Barstool posts a video. One of the guys, they're talking Arian Foster, and they're joking, but Arian Foster very seriously says, yeah, the NFL would give us a script each year, and we would have to follow that script. And so, it was a joke, but people took it to the farthest, and they were putting all sorts of spins on it. The funny one I saw was Dan Orlovsky posted himself running out of the back of the end zone and said, it was all part of the script. That makes sense.
Hey, real quick, in honor of Deuce Staley, real quick. Never mind, I'll get back to you.
Oh my God, you guys are
here we go.
at the end of the show.
Let me just tell you now, they got their fucking teeth pulled this week and their ass kicked at the same time. So they might change up some shit. Who gives a fuck? We the Lions and we hunt.
Let's go.
Who gives a fuck? We the Lions and we hunt. Oh!
When I heard that on Hard Knocks, I remember I rewatched it like 5 times. I was like, these not the same old Lions. Man.
I think the funniest Deuce Staley Hard Knocks moment, in my opinion, was at the end of the very first episode, and he's like, "Ain't nobody gonna be shitting the pants in my room. No, you gotta fart. You take it outside the room."
I gotta rewatch that.
I'm talking to you, Justin. Talking to Justin Jackson. He's like, "I'm talking to you."
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yo.
Little man, what's up?
He's like, "Why didn't I get to talk to Dad?"
I know. I said, come on, man. Maybe when old Julius gets a little too, or
he'll pass the baton over to you.
He's a
most
replacement.
He's the next generation of Lions fan.
Yeah, there
the
we
young
go.
Avengers. He's starting the young Honolulu Blues.
Honolulu Blues. I like.
Juliana will be on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. And I'll still be on because
Adam, you'll still be on it because you're so young. Adam will just then be graduating high school. Good for him. Good times.
That'd be awesome.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think we should wrap it up here. That was a pretty awesome episode. For those that are just, tuning in now, watch it from the beginning because we interviewed Taylor Decker for about 30 minutes. It was a great show. He gave some awesome answers. Fun, serious, all sorts of, good questions and answers. But check us out on Twitter at Honolulu Blues _. We will have all sorts of, Lions content on there. We'll be posting the Taylor Decker, the full video in case you can't figure it out. You're a Twitter guy or something like that. But if you're on YouTube watching us, give us a like, subscribe, positive comment. We love it all. If you enjoyed this Taylor Decker interview, give us a like we said. If you like the baby, give them a like. As always, check us out individually. Myself at Everyday FFB, Julius at The Fifth Top, and Nick at Nick Faber NFL. As always, baby, go.